Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Russell's Movie Reviews, and happy belated Easter to every single one of you. I know I was supposed to post this review Saturday, but family stuff got in the way of that, so I decided to postpone the review till today, along with the other two. So I gotta at least post this review up with the other two I plan on posting later on today. So, um, so again, happy belated Easter to every single one of you. Um, and I'm gonna gift you guys by reviewing something that is not so good. So, you guys may remember Saturday I reviewed Big Hero 6, when I thought it was a pretty okay movie, and it's a movie that I enjoy, but it's probably something I wouldn't want to watch again anytime soon. Um, but if someone told me, said like, hey, you want to watch Big Hero 6, I would say, sure, why not? This film I'm about to review is not one of those. This is absolutely a film that should just die, and I don't know why it was ever made. And if DreamWorks, if you are planning a sequel to this film, don't, because this is just straight up garbage. And as you guys can tell by the title and the thumbnail, today I will be reviewing Home. So, to discuss my brief, my history with the film was that the first time and the last time I watched it was back around, when did this Blu-ray came out? 2015. Okay, so yeah, probably 2015, 2016, and I was about 10 years old. Um, and I personally thought that, hey, you know, I um, you know, I think this film is, you know, good. I think it's a fun kids film. And I haven't watched it since, obviously, until I had to review it for today. And oh my god, this film was one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life. This is by far one of the worst theatrically released major studio animated films I've seen in a long time. And it's probably one of the worst animated films, like major like release, like big studio, like one of the worst I've ever seen in my life. Because this film, I just, and might as well just go over the point. So this was released in March of 2015, which actually a few days ago, or yeah, a few days ago, celebrated its sixth anniversary. But I don't think anyone would remember because this film is a piece of shit. Anyway, this was made on a budget of $135 million. Domestically, it made over $177 million, and worldwide, it made over 386. So this was a success. I guess domestically it was a flop because it only made it. Well, as I said, it had a budget of 135 million, and it only domestically made 177 million. So that's barely like. Well, I guess you could technically count it as a moderate success because it did make its budget back and then some. Only about 50 million. So yeah. And this was directed by Tim Johnson. And Tim, if you are watching this, I hate you with every fiber of my being. Um, but without further ado, uh, let's get to the plot. So, after a hive minded alien race called the Boov conquered the Earth, they relocate the planet's human population, all except for a little girl named Tip, played by Rihanna, who managed to hide from the aliens. When Tip meets a fugitive Boov named O, played by Jim Parsons, their mutual there's mutual distrust. However, O is not like his comrades. He craves friendship and fun. As their distress fades, the pair set out together to find Tip's mother, but unbeknown to them, the Gorg, the enemies of the Boo, on are en route. So yeah, it just sound because there was like an era. I can't exactly pinpoint the dates, but it was like late 2000s and like up to like 2016, where most film like you could even see that in Big Hero 6, where it's like it's a human versus something that's like not human. Like for example, I would classify Big Hero 6 as a man versus technology kind of film. This I would classify as a um even though it technically isn't a like a trope, it's per se, it's I would call it this like a man versus alien film, cuz and also this is kind of like a road trip film. But the whole like man versus something idea, it was done better in Big Hero 6 than this film, and this film came out a year after. So it just boggles my mind, like trying to think like how this makes any sense of how this film just sucks. And probably after I'm done filming this review, I'm gonna go and trade this in and get money for it because this film is not good at all. Like it seriously sucks. Except like only to like children, like really young children, they might like this film. But really, to anyone who has a right sense of mind, think that this film is so crap and so bullshit that they can't even stand this film. Like I don't understand how DreamWorks, who are granted they made amazing films, like they made like their second actually yeah, their second film is regarded as one of the best animated films of all time, and that's The Prince of Egypt. You know, they've done some like amazing films, like I said, Prince of Egypt, but they also done Ants, the first two Shrek movies, the How to Train Your Dragon movies, great films, and then you over like I feel like that the amount every single time they make a good movie or movies, they make just a whole bunch of shit ones. Like after like or just mediocre ones, but at least the mediocre ones I can at least watch. Like the Sinbad movie that they made, I can watch that over this piece of shit. Like for when you know Prince of Egypt. I mean, granted, the first animated film Ants was in competition with A Bug's Life, so I consider them on pretty equal ground. But I think I like Ants or a little bit more. But granted, that they were in competition with each other. But anyway, like they made Prince of Egypt, and then like they did that Joseph movie, which sucked. Shrek they did in 2001, and then I think Shrek 2 they did like 2 years later. Those two are great. 2005 we got Shark Tale, one of the worst animated films I've ever seen in my like probably the worst animated film I've ever seen in my life. Besides all those knockoff shit about Disney films like Ratatouille or some crap like that. You know, um, like I just don't get how like even when Disney made a bad movie, like Pixar even, like they made Cars 2, they made it better with Cars 3, and even then they made it better with other kinds of movies that are better than that. And even then, Cars 2 is better than the worst of DreamWorks. This isn't the worst DreamWorks movie I've ever seen. As I said, I think Shark Tale is the worst, not only DreamWorks movie, but I think the worst um commercial like animated film. But this is a certain running up because this film just shall we go over the cast? So Jim Parson, I'm sorry if I butchered that last name, plays O. If you guys recognize him from anything else, it should be The Big Bang Theory, which is all intents and purposes a good show. and yet he does this shit. He does okay, but even then, that's not gonna help this film at all. When you have when you have Rihanna and Jennifer Lopez, that's that's stooping to a low bar that I couldn't even think that you could have gone. Even when you have actors like when you have comedians like Steve Martin in the film as well, Rihanna plays Tip, also known as I'm probably gonna butcher this character's name. She plays Greta T. Tuki. Yeah, I most likely butchered that name, but she is awful. Like she's just a sprite. Like, and you're supposed to root for her throughout the film, and it's oh my god, this film is so insufferable. Um, and like I said, Jennifer Lopez, she plays Lucy Tuki, who is Tip's mother. She barely appears in the film. Steve Martin, like I said, great comedian, like great comedic actor, wasted in this film as Captain Smeek. It's such dumb character names. We have Matt L. Jones as Kyle, who is one of the Boov, who I think actually goes along with like helps O at the end. You know, he barely pops up in the film. He's probably like my favorite character because he's actually has some character arc. And then we have Brian Stepanik. I'm so sorry if I butchered that name. Who plays the Gork commander? I barely remember him until I watched this film again. I'm like, who the hell is that guy? Like he literally pops up in like the last like 10 minutes of the film, and it's just, I. So, and I guess like the whole gimmick about the Boov is that depending on like how they're like what their reaction is, so their main, like they all have like different colors, like even on the back, like O is like a like even like these two right here have like different shades of purple, and I think um all of the Boov are like a certain shade of purple, but then like I think like when they're starting to get angry they turn red. They I think they turn yellow when they get anxious, and then I think blue when they get sad. I think that's what it is. That gimmick is, oh, it's so dumb. Um so yeah, I mean even the music is not even that good, which I'll get to in a minute. Like I don't get how the animation in this film looks so bad. Like, I mean, granted, it's. I can't believe I'm gonna make this comparison when Shrek from 2001 looks better than Yao. Now, I know that one thing I will have to give credit to this film is that they handled shading a lot better than in Shrek. But that's one detail about the animation that I think is slightly better than Shrek. But like when you compare it like the human characters in this film to Shrek, the Shrek human characters look a lot more better and realistic than the human characters in this. I think the only thing accurate about like this film and with the human characters is that they got the afro correct. There's like the now I get that this film is animated, so there is a certain extent of reality, but I can understand, aliens conquering the earth. Because again, it's a kids' film. They could, do that. But when you throw in the fact that they have flying cars in this universe, along with, floating like sections of the planet, it's just I'm done. You have taken it too far, movie, and you are just dumb. And this tagline right here, this is not accurate at all. In fact, this film is, fucking, it's dumb, it's stupid, and it's boring. And, like, I just hate everything about this film. I just don't even want to even look at it. I guess the I think the score for this film was composed by Lauren Baflo. I'm so sorry if I butchered that name. The score doesn't even help with the film. It's just so like generic score from like 2015 that it doesn't even help. It just sounds like you're just playing the film with like it's like, hey, let's just take any like any generic like action cue from YouTube and we just shove it into the film when there's an action scene or when there's a sad moment. Take any generic sad, composed song and just stick it into the film. And I guess the one redeeming fact about this film is the fun fact that I have is that did you know that the title track "Feel the Light" opens with with five familiar notes used to communicate with the aliens in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which I actually did not know about until I was doing research for this film. Which I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. Um, that they actually borrowed a cue from that film. But that's the only good thing about this film. Only good thing. Ugh, this film, as you guys can tell by this review, I do not recommend this film at all, and that's why I'm gonna give this film a D minus. It's so close to getting an F, like so freaking close. In fact, I might there's a part of me that's saying just change it right now. And honestly, I might, because this film has really nothing going for it. It's just stupid, dumb fluff that for some reason kids like, and it made over 300 million worldwide. So you know what? I'm actually going to change my rating from a D minus to an F. This film is absolute garbage, and that's where it's going to go. You see that over there? See that trash can? I missed that. Hold up. I'm going to try that again. Alright, I'm back. But you see that? Okay, just count that going in, because honestly, I'm so enraged by that film that it just deserves to go into that. Which ironically is an RGD2 trash can. And I'm throwing it in a way in something that's actually good. But, this film just. As I said, this film I do not recommend. It gets an F. It absolutely deserves it. And stay tuned for later on today, which I will be discussing two films that will hopefully be better than this piece of shit. And that will be both The Dark Crystal and Legend. So, anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this review. And stay tuned for later on today, which to those two reviews, which I hope is better than that piece of shit over there. Live long and prosper. Out.